So the other day, I'm trying to buy a kid-friendly mobile phone, and it was almost impossible to find one. All I wanted was a simple basic phone that only did phone calls and texts, kind of like this Nokia brick I had 20 years ago. And they're just impossible to find. Everything these days are like these smartphones that we have, and they're just loaded with tech and all these extra apps. Anyway, as I'm trying to find this kid-friendly, low-tech mobile phone, I have one of those light bulb moments. Because when we think about the education crisis right now, mobile phones are like the perfect analogy on so many levels. Firstly, our current mobile phones are so much smarter than those old phones from 20 years ago, and the same rule applies with teaching. The Flynn effect says that every 10 years, our IQ goes up 3 points as a generation. So 20 years later, our current crop of teachers have an IQ that's 6 points higher. Now, this is really interesting for me because some of the commentary around the current education crisis is around teachers making mistakes, teachers not following best practice protocols, quality problems. And again, in the commentary, they typically blame poor teacher training and a lack of capabilities. But hang on a minute. If our teachers today are smarter than previous generations, then maybe it's not caused by a lack of capability. Maybe it's caused by a lack of capacity. And this is where our mobile phone becomes really handy again. And that's because teacher capability is kind of like the tech in the phone. And we know our teachers are smarter than previous generations because of the Flynn effect. But teacher capacity, well, that's like the battery in the phone. And if the battery's flat or starting to diminish too much, we hit low power mode or simply shut down altogether. I wonder if some of these mistakes that are being made or protocols not being followed, I wonder if that's more to do with a lack of capacity, our batteries are run down, as opposed to a lack of capability, not having the tech in the first place. And you know what? I reckon we might be onto something here because our education systems have been engaging in capability training for a long time now, and they're still bemoaning the same sorts of problems occurring. Maybe we've got the diagnosis wrong. Maybe it's not a capability problem as such. Maybe the teachers have those capabilities, but they're kind of deactivated simply because they're in low power mode or their battery's flat. Maybe what we need to do is charge up the battery and let them operate at their full capability. And when you think about it a bit more, maybe the way we're currently running our schools is actually draining capacity of teachers even more, running down their batteries simply because they've got too many apps open in the background. A lot of our work, we see schools and the ways of working in the support systems. Look, they're too complicated and teachers just feel overwhelmed and can't keep up. And the solution of this, of course, is to change how we run our schools, how we build support systems. We call them the Big Four school-wide support systems, because when we do that work well, what we're doing is plugging that battery back in and charging it up, and we're turning off those apps in the background. They don't need to be there. Everybody knows what's going on, and everyone's able to devote their full attention to quality teaching and learning.